of karma. African traditional religions.
The evil seeds a man sows shall be reaped by his offspring. Cruelty is never without repayment. However late it is, the repayment will come when it will. Yoruba Song, Nigeria.
The Baha'i Faith. Because of the sins he committed, he is now in prison. This is retribution for his acts. The promulgation of universal peace.
Every cause is followed by an effect, and vice versa. There could be no effect without a cause preceding it. Promulgation of universal peace.
Buddhism. Here, some woman or man is by nature a tormentor of living creatures. As a result of the deeds thus accomplished, wherever he is reborn, he suffers much from sickness. But here, some woman or man is not by nature a tormentor of living beings. He is free from sickness. Ipitaka.
Here, some woman or man is wrathful. Wherever he is reborn, he is ugly. But here, some woman or man is not wrathful. He is handsome. Here, some woman or man is jealous-minded. Wherever he is born, he is of little account. But here, some woman or man is not jealous-minded. He has great power. Tipitaka.
The way that leads to short life makes people short-lived. The way that leads to long life makes people long-lived. The way that leads to sickness makes people sick. The way that leads to health makes people healthy. The way that leads to ugliness makes people ugly. The way that leads to beauty makes people beautiful. The way that leads to insignificance makes people insignificant. The way that leads to influence makes people influential. The way that leads to poverty makes people poor. The way that leads to riches makes people rich. The way that leads to low birth makes people low-born. The way that leads to high birth makes people high-born. The way that leads to stupidity makes people stupid. The way that leads to wisdom makes people wise. Tipitaka.
According to what deeds are done, do their resulting consequences come to be. Yet the doer has no existence. This is the Buddha's teaching, like a clear mirror, according to what comes before it, reflecting forms each different, so is the nature of actions. Garland Sutra.
Not in the sky, nor in mid-ocean, nor in a mountain cave is found that place on earth where abiding one may escape from the consequences of one's evil deed. Dhammapada.
I declare, O bhikkhus, that volition is karma. Having willed, one acts by body, speech, and thought. Tipitaka.
According to the seed that's sown, so is the fruit you reap therefrom. Doer of good will gather good. Doer of evil, evil reaps. Down is the seed, and thou shalt taste the fruit thereof. Tipitaka.
I am the owner of my karma. I inherit my karma. I am born of my karma. I am related to my karma. I live supported by my karma. Whatever karma I create, whether good or evil, that I shall inherit. Karma means retribution. Tipitaka.
A man who has committed one of the deadly sins will never again, until his death, lose the thought of that action. He cannot get rid of it or remove it, but it follows after him until the time of his death. Perfection of wisdom in 8,000 lines.
An ignorant man committing evil deeds does not realize the consequences. The imprudent man is consumed by his own deeds, like one burnt by fire. Dhammapada.
Men have, O young man, deeds as their very own. They are inheritors of deeds. Deeds are their matrix. Deeds are their kith and kin, and deeds are their support. It is deeds that classify men into high or low status. Here, O young man, some woman or man is a taker of life, fierce, with hands stained by blood, engaged in killing and beating, without mercy for living creatures. As a result of deeds thus accomplished, thus undertaken, he is reborn on the breakup of the body after death into a state of woe, of ill plight, of purgatory or hell, or, if he comes to be born as a man, wherever he may be reborn, he is of a short lifespan. This course, that he is a taker of life, fierce, with hands stained by blood, engaged in killing and beating, without mercy for living creatures, leads to shortness of life.
O young man, some woman or man gives up killing, totally refraining from taking life, and abides laying down the rod, laying down the weapon, conscientious, endowed with mercy and sensitive to the will of all living beings. As a result of the deeds thus accomplished, thus undertaken, he is reborn on the breakup of the body, after death, into a happy state, into a heavenly world, or if he comes to be born as a man, wherever he is reborn, he has a long lifespan. This course, that one gives up taking life and abides laying down the rod, laying down the weapon, conscientious, endowed with mercy for living creatures, leads to longevity. Tipitaka.
Gaudai. Learn to do good deeds and give charity. You will enjoy wealth and honor when reincarnated. Being wicked and causing turmoil will only reap bad retributions in your next life. The true teaching of the great vehicle.
Kindness and wickedness, two paths to ascend or suffer. The balance of good and bad deeds will be accounted for. The wise goes to the shore of enlightenment, to become immortals and Buddhas. The fool goes to the bank of ignorance, to transform into demons. Reward and punishment are precise. Poverty and wealth are not accidental. Reincarnation and retribution cannot be escaped. Only spiritual practice can erase karmic retributions. The true teaching of the great vehicle.
Christianity.
Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye mete withal, it shall be measured to you again. Holy Bible.
Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin. Holy Bible.
Be not deceived. God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Holy Bible.
Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Holy Bible.
The Essenes. Kill not, neither eat the flesh of your innocent prey, lest you become the slaves of Satan. For that is the path of sufferings, and it leads unto death. But do the will of God, that his angels may serve you on the way of life. The Essene Gospel of Peace.
Gnosticism.
Those who suffer in their home should multiply their humility, patience, and serenity. They must not answer with insults. They must not tyrannize their neighbor, must not upset those who surround them, must know how to forgive the defects of their neighbor with patience infinitely multiplied. Thus this is how they will cancel out their karma and will become better. Karma means retribution. Hell, the devil, and karma.
Hinduism. If the punishment does not fall on the offender himself, it falls on his sons. If not on the sons, on his grandsons. Laws of Manu.
Like the waves in great rivers, there is no turning back of that which has previously been done. The soul is like a lame man, bound with the fetters made of the fruit of good and evil. Maitri Upanishad.
After death, the soul goes to the next world, bearing in mind the subtle impressions of its deeds, and after reaping their harvest, returns again to this world of action. Thus, he who has desires continues subject to rebirth. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad.
Hua Hao Buddhism. There is no way to escape from life and death because of the calling of past bad karmas. If you continue to create, you continue to pay. The more bad karmas, the more sufferings compounded. The more you borrow, the more interest you pay. Worldly debts thus never end. Karmic debts ever bind you tight. Karma means retribution, illuminating the way to
International Society of Krishna Consciousness.
One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. Bhagavad Gita.
One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme God, is not affected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Bhagavad Gita.
Islam.
Whatever affliction may visit you is for what your own hands have earned. Holy Quran.
Jainism.
Reflect and observe that whether you go to this world or to that beyond, in the whole world, those who are discerning beings, who abstain from cruelty, relinquish karma. They are flesh-subduing, called duty-knowing, upright men, aware that pain results from actions. Karma means retribution. Akaranga Sutra.
He who is indifferent and wishes for the destruction of karma should continue his contemplation, becoming unattached internally and externally. He should strive after absolute purity. Karma means retribution. Akaranga Sutra.
The Venerable One understands thus: he who is under the conditions of existence, that fool suffers pain. Thoroughly knowing karma, the Venerable One avoids sin. The sage, perceiving the double karma, proclaims the incomparable activity. He, the knowing one, knowing the current of worldliness, the current of sinfulness, and the impulse, practicing the sinless abstinence from killing, he did no acts, neither himself nor with the assistance of others. Karma. Akaranga Sutra.
Judaism. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that is wise winneth souls. Behold, the righteous shall be requited in the earth. How much more the wicked and the sinner? Holy Ketuvim.
Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. Holy Ketuvim.
Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Holy Ketuvim.
He that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his wrath shall fail. Holy Ketuvim.
Sikhism. Burnt by desire and bound by the karma of their past actions, they go round and round, like the ox at the mill press. Karma means retribution. Holy Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
You unite me with yourself, O true God. Through perfect good karma you are obtained. Karma means retribution. Holy Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
The word of the Guru's Shabad eradicates the karma of millions of past actions. Shabad means sound. Karma means retribution. Holy Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Our body in Kali Yuga is a field of action. As a man sows, so is his reward. Nothing by empty talk is determined. Anyone swallowing poison must die. Brother, behold the Creator's justice. As are a man's actions, so is his recompense. Holy Adi Granth.
Spiritualism, Spiritism.
Happiness is the outcome of right reason, as surely as misery is the result of conscious violation of reasonable laws, whether corporeal or spiritual. Spirit teachings.
Sin carries with it its own punishment, nor will you find a convenient substitute on whose shoulders you may bind the burdens which you have prepared. Your own back must bear them, and your own spirit groan under their weight. Spirit teachings.
Sufism. These troubles and depressions that come to you are the effect of some injury and wrong you have committed. Even if you cannot remember in detail what you have done, still from the results you can know the deed. You may not remember whether it came from your own negligence or ignorance, or because others swayed you into wrongful action. But look at the results. How much did you fall from grace? Or how much has your heart expanded? Certainly, a fall from grace is the response of disobedience to God, and expansion of the heart is the reward of obedience. Discourses of Rumi.
Taoism.
Those who wrongfully kill men are only putting their weapons into the hands of others who will in turn kill them. Treatise on Response and Retribution.
When parties by wrong and violence take the money of others, an account is taken and set against its amount of their wives and children and all the members of their families when these gradually die. If they do not die, there are disasters from water, fire, thieves and robbers, from losses of property, illnesses, and evil tongues to balance the value of their wicked appropriations. Treatise on Response and Retribution.
Theosophy.
Karma creates nothing, nor does it design. It is man who plans and creates causes, and karmic law adjusts the effects, which adjustment is not an act, but universal harmony, tending ever to resume its original position. Karma means retribution. Secret doctrine.
For karma, in its effects, is an unfailing redresser of human injustice, and of all the failures of nature, a stern adjuster of wrongs, a retributive law which rewards and punishes with equal impartiality. It is, in the strictest sense, no respecter of persons, though, on the other hand, it can neither be propitiated nor turned aside by prayer. Karma means retribution. Key to Theosophy.
Tibetan Buddhism.
Ripening karma brings an instinctive hatred. Failing to distinguish right from wrong, they hardly can be helped by any means. Bear this, my disciples, in your minds, and meditate with perseverance all your lives. The 100,000 Songs of Milarepa. The Law of Karma.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW-scrolls.